Hi everyone, I'm Jeff, and I'd like to welcome you back to Jeff's Nonsport Card Universe, where we look at the history, evolution, and just plain fun of collecting non-sport cards. Now, today we're going to look at another of my favorite sets from the 1960s, the 1966 Leaf Incorporated Good Guys and Bad Guys. This is one of my favorite sets because at this time, cowboys were our heroes, and some baseball players. But cowboy shows were everywhere on television, and that's really the focus of this particular set. So at that time, we had Gunsmoke, we had Have Gun Will Travel, we had Wanted Dead or Alive, we had Bonanza, we had Cheyenne. I mean, the shows went on and on and on. And every chance we got, we played cowboys. Now, I still have this. This is called a Fanner 50. You open the compartment on the side, you could put 50 roll caps in there at one time, and instead of having to pull the trigger, you would just fan it like our heroes on the cowboy shows. So you just fan it, you could shoot 50 caps just as fast as you could go, which would irritate your mom and your sisters and everybody else. So anyway, we played cowboys every chance we got, and in 1966, when this card set came out, we were ready. Now, let me show you what some of the cards look like. Here is one of my favorites. This is Kit Carson. He was one of the pioneer explorers out west at that time, especially in the Rocky Mountain region. He was also someone who, it says on the back of the cards, helped form a lot of treaties with the Native Americans at the time. Now, let's jump to the backs real quick. On the backs of the cards, this may be a little difficult to see, you get a really nice write-up showing the aliases of the different people and their greatest accomplishments, whether they were good or bad. Here's Black Bart, another of my favorites. Black Bart was the famous stagecoach robber who would write poetry and leave the poems in the empty express boxes after he took out the loot. Here's Wild Bill Hickok, one of our heroes when we played cowboys. Notice it has the aces and eights dead man hand in the cards on the front of this particular card. Supposedly he was holding that hand when little Jack McCall shot him in the back. Here's John Chisholm, who opened the Chisholm Trail. That was on so many westerns of the era. Here's Bloody Bill Anderson, who rode with Quantrill's Raiders during the Civil War. And then, of course, we have to have Quantrill himself. And the back of this doesn't present him in a very good light, as you can imagine. Here's Yellowstone Kelly. He is famous because he was the guy who shot little Robert Ford, who had shot Jesse James. So actually on the back of this card, it makes him sound not just like a vigilante, but somebody who saw justice done. Here's Bill Brocious, another one of the famous stagecoach robbers of the era. How about Santa Anna, the butcher of the Alamo? And on the back of this card, you get that very expressly written. Cherokee Bill, who was a cattle rustler. He was given the name Cherokee Bill because he hid out in Indian territory at the time every time a posse would chase him. Now, when we get to the Native Americans of the time, by any standard of political correctness, then in the 1960s or even today, the Native Americans aren't shown in a very good light. Most of them are shown as bloodthirsty savages just waiting for the next wagon train to lurk by. Here's Chief Red Cloud. This is one of my favorites in the set. But even this card says that he was prone to doing massacres against the white settlers. So very one-sided at this time and not in a very good light at all. Now, there were also two women in this set. And remember, there were two women in Pirates Bold as well. There was one in the World's Famous Explorers. Women didn't really fare well in these early card sets. All right, the first one was Belle Starr, who was actually involved with the James Gang and the Youngers and those folks. She's shown with a nice hat, fire red lipstick, actually looks kind of pretty. It says that she was great with pistols. Well, we got this card, and again, at our ages, we hadn't appreciated women yet, so this one got pitched, and this is one of the rarer cards in the set today. Then the other woman, when we opened the packs and we found this one, basically we just went, ah! Calamity Jane, who really looks like a man more than anything in this particular card. I mean, take a look at that. That's not a very flattering picture at all. We did not save her either. And today she also commands quite a premium in the set as well. Now, at the time, just as it was the case with Flair's Pirates Bold set, it looks like Leaf Incorporated possibly took a little liberties here with history. There are some in here that are not in the historical record, so it looks like the art department made them up. Here's a possibility. How about Rattlesnake Dick? I don't ever remember hearing a Rattlesnake Dick in any of the Westerns that I saw or any of the stories I read. It says that he was a train robber and really quite good at it, but I couldn't really find anything in the record about him. All right, now a couple things about this particular set. The artwork isn't the best. As a matter of fact, in some cases, like this one of John Chisholm, it looks like it was from a bad paint-by-number set. So the artwork isn't the best of all time. The backs are actually done quite well. The stories may be a little bit suspicious at times, but the layout is really good. All right, this set also has one of the great non-sport card mysteries. There are 72 cards in the set, but card number 40 isn't there. It was pulled. Nobody knows who was on card number 40. So what Leaf did is they skipped 40 and they added a card on the end, a number 73. So that way there are still 72 cards in the set, but forever people have wondered who was on 40 that they had to pull. Now, the very last card in the set is Billy the Kid. So it's a logical choice to include, but you wonder who was on number 40. All right, now the cost of these cards. They're typically about $5 to $10 each, a little bit more if we're talking about the women in the set. Graded cards do command a premium. They typically sell for 2 or 3 times as much as the ungraded cards in there. But it's a set that's easy to complete. This is not a tough one. The only thing I will say about difficulty is in terms of centering, some of them are not. The Bill Brocious card shows this, but not as bad as a lot of them. Left to right centering was really tough. So if you're really looking to put together a very nicely centered set, it's going to be hard. But again, this is a 1966 Leaf Incorporated, Good Guys and Bad Guys. It's a fun set and very reflective of the era in which it was issued. So again, if you like what you've seen today, please subscribe. Remember, go to therappermagazine.com to get your free issue of The Rapper, the greatest non-sport card magazine out there today. And finally, as Roy Rogers would say, until next time, happy trails to you. Enjoy your cards and enjoy collecting, everyone. See you next time.